toothbrushes with DNA on them to the fire department so that they could identify remains and whatnot. And it was awful. I mean, I guess like my parents, your mom's parents, they had Pearl Harbor. There is like an event that happened in their life, or probably before they were born a little bit. But like 9/11, I mean, I don't think there's anyone around that was alive, that was an adult or a memorable age, that doesn't know exactly where they were on 9/11 and doesn't have searing memories of what occurred in the days after 9/11, and how even like, I mean, even for like 9/11 was on a Tuesday. I don't think that like the news went off the air until like midnight Friday night. It was just on. It was the only thing on TV on every channel. It's all it was 9/11 coverage. And I think it was on Friday. There was like the attacks were on Tuesday, and on Friday there was like a national memorial service at the National Cathedral. And then I remember Bush went to Ground Zero, and I'm 99% sure it was on Friday. And it was gray and it was raining. It was very dangerous because of all this dust, and it was wet and it was mud. And he was up on that pile, and he said, "I hear you, and soon all the people that did this will hear from us." And that was a rallying moment. And then the most eerie thing about it, I remember on that day, was because all the planes stopped flying. There were no planes. Like air transportation ground to a halt. And they didn't know when they were going to allow planes to fly again because there was no real security. There was no way to make sure that someone getting on a plane didn't have box cutters and could commandeer a plane. And they had to like from ground zero, well, not from ground zero, but from literally the ground floor, they had to build like a whole new security infrastructure in like 3-4 days, and to get planes moving again. And the lines were like hours and hours to get through security when they first started flying. So they were trying to figure it out. This was before the TSA. The TSA was a result of 9/11. There was no TSA. Airport security was basically about as equivalent as mall security. They were, people would say they were rent-a-cops back then. There were private companies that manned the gates. The people were a bit sleepy-eyed and whatnot, and it changed everything. The whole world changed. Yeah. I mean, in ways that you can't imagine. Like now we're like, oh, well, you have TSA pre and you can go through. Immediately after 9/11, there was no TSA pre. You would have to get to, in the immediate time after 9/11, you'd have to get to the airport 2-3 hours before your flight to get through security.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having this conversation with me. I know it must have been a little bit hard for you. And that's my interview.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. It was an honor, and I wish you the best of luck in your class.